Hey guys, it's Miss Madison, and I wanted to make a video to go over the AP testing guide. So let's get started. There's a link to this that I will send you guys in your email if you'd like to follow along. I just want to make sure we don't have any questions and everybody's good to go for your AP Lang test. Okay, good. So we're going to get started here. This is a summary of resources. We're going to be looking at the checklist, this general testing guide, required documents, testing demos, detailed facts, and so we'll get started here. All right, the first thing is your AP exam e-ticket. So you're going to receive your e-ticket by email 2 days before your test, and so you'll need to take this e-ticket to check into your exam. So you'll get a unique ticket for each exam you're registered for, and you'll also get your e-ticket, access to your e-ticket in your student account on My AP. So each ticket is personalized for you and is non-transferable. You can't share it, all that kind of stuff. Make sure that you save your May e-ticket email in case you need to request a makeup exam. Okay, good. Your e-ticket will be valid for the May exam schedule. So all registered students have been scheduled for these May dates. Unless there's a significant conflict, students should test in May, so they have the June dates in case you have a disruption in your test and you need the June test. If for some reason you aren't able to do the May test, and then you try to take the June test, that would be your last possible time. So you just want to make sure you take it in May and then save the June as an actual backup because you won't have another backup after June. All right, so all exams are offer a June makeup date, like I said. So you will be able to request an e-ticket for June if you have some kind of disruption in service or something happens in May. So there you go, that's that. Reminders about the exam schedule. So each subject's exam will take place simultaneously throughout the world. Students taking art and design, that's not us. What to expect on this year's exams. The questions won't be more difficult. You're not going to be graded on a curve, and this year's no different. Don't worry if you don't complete all parts of the question before you need to attach or submit your responses. To give students many different chances to demonstrate that they know what, as much as possible, a question may have more parts than can be answered in the allotted time. You don't need to complete the entire question to get a score of 5, but you do need to submit whatever work you've done. So this is also giving you 45 minutes to write and then an additional 5 minutes to submit. So it's the exact same time as you would normally have on the AP test. All right, so as you guys know, there's fewer questions. You guys are just taking one essay. It's a 45-minute rhetorical analysis. So yeah, if for some reason you don't receive a 3 or higher, and I can see that, I can review and confirm your score with AP and make sure that they're grading it fairly, so that if that becomes an issue, that is something that they're offering because of the unique situation of this year. So the exam questions are viewed by students in a web browser, so like Chrome. Students type or write their responses outside that browser, and then you can choose from 3 options to submit your responses. So you can copy and paste your typed response, or you can attach your document, or you can attach a photo of a handwritten response. So option 1, this is where you just copy and paste a typed response, and then you click submit. So you type it into Google Docs, Microsoft Word, whatever you want. You don't include images, obviously, and make sure it's saving. And then you type your AP ID and initials at the top of the response. So I would actually get your Google Doc ready in the days prior, so you have your Google Doc super ready. It has your AP ID on it and your initials at the top of the pages, so that you don't have to worry about doing that later. So then you would just copy and paste your response into the space allocated and click submit. So to make sure we're doing the setup right, make sure you're using Chrome, Firefox, or Safari, or Edge, in which the exam questions will appear after you click on your e-ticket. So display the test questions, displays the timer, and you use this to paste and copy and paste and submit your typed response. Window 2, where you type a document, a Google Doc, Microsoft Word, or Notes. So you'll have 2 windows open. Option 2, this is where you would actually attach a document and click submit. So you would, again, be typing it into Google Docs, Microsoft Word, and then you would, don't include images, obviously, save your document, Same thing, type your AP ID, not your Apple ID, your AP ID and your initials at the top. And then when you have 5 minutes remaining, you attach your response and click submit. So your exam, if your exam has 2 questions, which we don't, you don't have to worry about that. So AP exam day setup side by side with Windows. So in the first window, you have your Chrome, Firefox, or Safari or Edge, and that'll be displaying all of your test stuff. And then window 2, that's where you type your document. So just kind of notice that, like, when the timer is 5 minutes, you just attach your response and click submit. So there's 2 really ways to do this. The third way is to do a handwritten response. I'm not sure if any of you are going to choose this option. I'm not sure if I would recommend this option just because it does take a little extra time for you to take a picture of your response and then attach it and then click submit. It just adds extra time, not to mention the extra time of actually handwriting it. So again, if you prefer to do this option, again, that's totally your choice. But same kind of thing where you want to write your AP ID at the top of each of your pages. So they need to be like 8 by 11 pages where you can write your response with your AP ID at the top and your initials and the page number at the top of each page. So you have to create these pages ahead of time if you're going to be doing a written response. And then you would attach your files in these formats here. Okay, good. So for exam day setup, if you're doing this option, you have a smartphone or a tablet, it displays the test question. So you kind of have something with all of the stuff going for the test, having your timer, and then you use your phone or your tablet to take the photos of your written work and attach those photos onto your phone or tablet. So that's the third option. Okay. Let's see here. There's also stuff if you guys need to do a makeup exam. So come back and check out this link on page 18. They have stuff requesting makeup exams if you need to do that. Okay, good. Steps to take before exam day. So the first thing is to review your contact information. So getting on AP Central and making sure that you can log in and that you can see the email address you used when you registered for the test. So making sure that's all updated. And then you're going to check your tech, make sure that you prepare the device and the documents you use, you're using the right internet browser, and you have all your documents with your AP ID and all that stuff kind of ready to go. Then you're going to be practicing submitting your response. So there's an AP demo you can go to. And so you can click on that link and it will take you to a demo where you have to submit your AP ID. I don't know why I keep saying Apple, I'm such a dork. You have to submit your ID and then you can like practice taking a little demo just to kind of get used to it. I recommend doing this just so it feels very natural when you're on there. And step 4, you can actually download and print and gather your materials. So this is kind of unique as well. You can actually have notes. So you can print out some notes if it will help with your rhetorical analysis that you can have on hand here. So you can use textbooks, you can use notes. You do not want to be like going off onto the internet and copying things from the internet into your document. That would be plagiarism and that would be a breach of your test and that would cancel the whole thing. But you can use like a printout of notes or reminders for your rhetorical analysis if that's helpful. And then you also, for step 5, you receive your exam confirmation and your e-ticket emails. So this is 2 days prior where you get your email for your e-ticket and just your confirmation. So again, just review of the steps here. Sign into My AP, confirm your email address, check your profile, go to your account settings and confirm your email is the one that you use for your e-ticket. If you need to change your email address, like click update so that your profile is matching your e-ticket. And then in subscriptions, confirm that you've checked the box to receive updates so you can get updates from College Board. And then create a new contact with the email address here in your address book or save sender list. So just so that you have that connection. Don't worry if you can't get emails from AP, your e-ticket will be posted on your My AP account. So if you don't receive an email, go to your My AP account and you can get your e-ticket there as well. Check your tech, choose your device, that kind of process. You won't need a lockdown browser on your device, but if you have Grammarly plugged into like a plugin on your computer, you'll need to remove that for the test. When choosing between handwriting and typing, keep in mind, again, like I would recommend typing it, but that would be my preference. This year's questions won't require you to submit graphs or diagrams. You'll be more, if you're more comfortable maybe with chemistry or calculus or statistics, handwriting, that would make sense. Okay, good. In most other subjects, using a smartphone will require scrolling back and forth within a question, which many students will find frustrating. So I really do recommend using some kind of desktop or laptop for this. Okay, good. Checking your tech. So decide whether you're going to be using Google Docs, Microsoft Word, and then recommend turning on autosave, making sure that's on, making sure that you have to, it says if you're using a cloud document like Google Docs and you want to attach your document rather than copy and paste, remember that you'll need to download it first. So that's a whole other step. So if you're using Google Docs, I would recommend just copying and pasting your essay in. If you're using Word, then it's already saved as a document and then you would just upload it. Before test day, prepare your docs by typing, we've already gone over this, your AP ID and your initials at the top of every page so that it's like super ready and you're ready to go and you're not worrying about doing that later. Okay, so checking with your tech. This is stuff that's really if you're handwriting it. And you can only use up to 5 pages if you're handwriting it, so that's another reason that if you have really large handwriting, I wouldn't do the handwritten choice. You can only have 5 pages, so you would have those 5 pages totally ready to go, 8 by 11, number 2 pencil, or a pen with blue or black ink if you're going to be handwriting it. Okay, good. All right, so make sure you practice the demo, submitting your responses, and other things to keep in mind. So things that you have to have for your actual exam day. So you need your exam e-ticket email, and you have to complete your exam day checklist, including your AP ID. It's a really easy checklist, just making sure you have all these parts like the paper like we talked about, your AP ID, all of that kind of thing. Making sure your device is working. You have to have some, Chrome is recommended, but you can also use Firefox, Safari, or Edge. You cannot use Internet Explorer for this. I think there's a page down here where they specifically say, make sure it's Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge is your default browser. So send an email to yourself with a link to a website that you like. Click on the link and see what opens as your default. Make sure that it's not Internet Explorer. You have to change your default browser or you won't be able to test. So Internet Explorer is not compatible. Make sure that your default is Chrome or Firefox or where did I put that? Oh yeah, Chrome or Firefox or Edge. Make sure you have the internet or a cellular connection. Make sure you have all of that kind of prepared. Either Microsoft Word or Google Docs. And permitted, you can use your class notes or study guides. You can use textbooks or other classroom resources. You can use previous assignments. Okay, good. Okay, so other things to keep in mind. We have the checklist, so the 5 steps we've covered are listed, so students should fill out the checklist and keep it next to them during testing. So you want to get your AP exam day checklist and just make sure you have all these parts and have it super ready to go. You can download the checklist at cb.org/AP checklist. So print or hand copy that checklist for each exam you take. The most important thing to fill in is your 8-character AP ID code. I know we've said it a bazillion times, don't put your Apple ID. Which is located on your e-ticket. So you'll use this code to check into your exam as well. Okay, so again, exam day stuff. 30 minutes prior, you want to actually check in. So you'll log in, use your e-ticket to check into the exam, complete your identity information. There'll be some stuff you have to kind of fill out to get started. And that's 30 minutes prior to your time. So at like 11:30, you'll be logging in and checking in. Then your question will appear. You'll have 45 minutes to type your response. And then at the end of 45 minutes, then you'll have 5 minutes to submit. So I think it's plenty of time to make sure that works. Even if you're handwriting it, you probably have plenty of time to upload your pictures. 5 minutes is probably enough time. Okay, good. So you don't need that stuff. Your testing environment, obviously remove distractions. Like I'd have to get rid of my dogs. You enable the do not disturb or quiet setting on your device. Let everyone know that you're going to be testing so that they don't run in trying to like do stuff. Make sure your device is plugged in. If you have limited bandwidth, ask others on your network to limit their use of the internet. So make sure you have strong internet connection and have your checklist and required documents next to you. In terms of security, you cannot incorporate work that's not your own. And really, like, the internet wouldn't be able to really help you with this anyway, because it's really you analyzing this piece. But just to kind of, so you guys know, like, this is their exam security stuff. So to identify students who receive help through the web or their phones or social media. Most techniques will remain confidential, so they'll be looking to see that people aren't copying and pasting stuff off of the internet. So that's a really big deal. They'll be looking for plagiarism, using software to detect that, and then sharing that with their teachers. Students have found violating exam security will face severe consequences, which can include having their names reported to college admissions offices. So this is a really big deal. Do not bother cheating on this test. You don't want your reputation damaged. And obviously your AP exam scores will be canceled. Not that cheating would help you anyway, but just kind of, it's a big deal. Like, just know, like, don't be copying anything off of the internet. Okay, so check into your exam. Like I said, 30 minutes prior, you'll spend a few minutes passing through some identity stuff, and then the timer will start. Once the exam starts, your first exam question will automatically appear. You don't have to refresh your browser. It will automatically appear. So you should not refresh your browser. Just let it do its thing. So it'll look like this. And then, let's see, for most exams, the question is divided into parts and labeled in alphabetical order. For our purposes, it's just one question. It's super straightforward. You may use spell check or grammar check, but these will not provide an advantage. So if you've installed Grammarly, you have to disable it. You can print the test questions and annotate them if you like, but you can't use annotation software to annotate online. So that's another kind of thing you might consider, is printing the test question so that you can just write on it. If you have your printer set up and you have enough time to do that, that's something that you could do, just to kind of give you extra notes for yourself so you have more to write about and it's more obvious what you're doing. An alternative to that would just be to have some paper next to you so you can take notes on your ideas as you read it. But it's kind of nice to be able to write on it. That's a great strategy. Exams with more than one question, you don't have to worry about that. Managing your time. So during the exam, you'll see a timer. Make sure you keep the timer visible for yourself. The timer turns red after 5 minutes before the time is about to end. So make sure you stop where you are and copy and paste and attach your work and then click submit. So you can still earn a 5 even if you don't finish your response. So the most important thing is to actually submit on time. If you don't submit your response on time, you won't get any credit for it. So it's more important that you just submit than if you don't have a conclusion. And then losing track of time and not submitting a response is not an acceptable reason for requesting a makeup test. So running out of time won't give you a new makeup test. Okay. Let's see, submitting your response. So you submit it in a two-step process. You can either attach or paste your response and then you click submit. If you don't click submit before the timer runs out, your response will not count. So this is maybe like the most technical thing. Make sure you click submit before the timer runs out. Big deal. Once you click submit, your response may continue to transfer depending on your bandwidth, and this is fine. You will be able to move on to the next question. We don't have the next question. If your response continues to transfer after the exam ends, wait for an on-screen message confirming that your exam is complete, and make sure your submissions have fully loaded before you close your browser. So just make sure you get that confirmation at the end before you close out. If you never see this confirmation that your exam is complete, you should go to Request Makeup to explain the situation and request an e-ticket for the June makeup date. Again, that you submitted on time, but that it just didn't process. Okay, good. So stuff that could go wrong. You could accidentally close the browser and your device could crash, or you could temporarily lose internet access, and then you can quickly click your exam e-ticket again to return to the exam. So you can always get back to the exam by clicking your e-ticket. So continue the exam, and if you feel at the end of the exam that this disruption really messed up your performance, then you have to go take a makeup exam. During the exam, don't refresh your browser or hit the back arrow, and don't call. Customer centers won't be open. So if you lost too much time, then you can just request a makeup. All right, so in terms of exam scores and credits, as usual, these will be scored by AP readers who are mostly college professors and experienced educators. It'll be a usual like 1, 2, 5 on the AP test. They're just using this one question to assess that, so it's pretty straightforward. Okay, good. AP scores will be released to AP students beginning about July 15th. Okay, good. And then you can sign into my AP no later than June 20th to indicate which college or university you want to send your scores to. After June 20th, it's a $15 fee. So you just want to consider doing that before June 20th so you don't have to spend money sending out your scores to universities you're interested in. Okay, this is just some happy little examples talking about how people recognize AP test scores from all these different universities. So, yay, AP test, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. And yeah, this is their last little reminder. Stay safe and healthy. It's a good one. Okay, good. And we already went over this. Make sure that you are using Chrome and disable any plugins or extensions like Grammarly. So, and if you need to, you can figure out how to disable browser extensions. And please, guys, email me if you have questions as they come up. I'm here to help. Make sure you take the time to go through these steps and have your checklist ready, and make sure you're accessing everything and you have your pages ready with your ID, and just feel super prepared so that on the day of your exam you're super calm and you can just relax and get into it and just kill it. Okay. Take care, you guys. I'll see you soon.